Thank you so much. Actually, I'm originally from Kolkata,
Okay.
and I was living outside India for 18 years, and a lot of it was spent also doing drugs. And then I quit drugs and I decided to come back home to India. I decided at first I wanted to, you know, do something about my disease. And even though I had stopped, I had a fear that I would go back to doing drugs again because, it's a highly relapsible disorder. So by providence, by chance, I met Father Joe, our founder of Kripa Foundation in Panchgani. And he invited me to come to Mumbai, and I went to Mumbai. I volunteered, and just so I stayed there for 6 months. They put me on a fast track training program, and then sent me over here, and that's how I came here in 2006. Basically, addiction has. We said there are 4 signs of addiction, and these 4 signs should be present. We call them the cardinal signs of addiction. The first is obsession. A person, whether he's using the drug or not using the drug, drinking or not drinking, he's always thinking about it. So that's running in his mind. The second part is denial. Automatically, the denial sets in and the person doesn't want to admit he has a problem.
Okay.
The third component is negative consequences. Because of his addiction, a lot of things start going wrong in his life. बहुत सारी गलतियां होने लगती हैं, पैसे का प्रॉब्लम, घर में प्रॉब्लम, लड़ाई झगड़ा, बीवी से झगड़ा, बॉस के साथ प्रॉब्लम, समाज में प्रॉब्लम, और फिर भी वो यूज करता ही जाता है. दैट इज द फोर्थ sign. So if all these 4 conditions are present, then we know it's an addiction. The causes are many, genetic or environmental causes. We have a treatment program which is a minimum of 90 days. And the first phase is a detox. That is for the first 1 week or 10 days, we use medication. We have a doctor and a psychiatrist. So we treat the person for immediate withdrawal from whatever he's having. And alcohol will be different from opiates, and inhaling, say, dendrite, that will be different. So medicines will be different. But withdrawal is the discomfort you feel when you stop using a substance. And that goes on for at least 10 days and maybe longer. And then after the detox, he comes on to the program. We have a lot of programs in different parts of India. For example, there's some NGOs that follow a religious model, prayer and work. But what we do is we use the 12-step program, which came from Alcoholics Anonymous. So this is a program that started in the 50s in America. And it's used now for every addiction. So you have Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Food Anonymous. The same 12 steps for all kinds of addictions. So we teach this program along with other therapies. Kripa uses recovering addicts, except for the professional like our psychologists, our account section, and the doctors. Documentation that is done by professionals, but the counseling and the running of the program is done by recovering addicts.
Okay.
So they, having recovered through this program, are like role models, and they show that if I can do it, you can do it too, and they understand what the addict is going through. We train them up. We
Okay.
send them for counseling courses, or we do in-house training. What we can do for each case, because every case is unique, and we have to develop a program, a strategy for each patient. Basically, counselor takes notes each session, so we can, uh, you know, share notes and we see how each person is doing, what problems they're having, and how we can help them. Plus, we have a session for the families every week where we teach them about addiction and how to behave with the addict once he goes back home. People start by smoking heroin, but it's very expensive, and slowly, very quickly, they graduate to injecting heroin. You know, and that is very dangerous because they share needles and they can get HIV or they can get hepatitis C. And we also run a program for Assam government.
Is the process same of detoxification, like with alcohol and with drugs?
No, they have to, for substitution, there's no detoxification.
Okay.
They straight away go on to taking a tablet that they keep under their tongue. Withdrawal is not there. Plus, if they would to take the drug, it would not affect them. It would not work on them because
Okay.
they have a um, something which is inhibiting the receptors.
Okay.
So slowly, they will come on to this tablet, which is legal, which they get for free every day. So
Okay.
they don't have to go into criminal behavior, and they don't have to share needles, and they can keep themselves safe and the others safe, not spread viruses that are harmful,
Okay.
and then slowly motivate them to stop that also.
Okay. Okay.
And so we give them medicine and then decrease the dosage of medicine so that slowly they stop taking it, and give them some like vitamins and sleep regulator, other things. So slowly they come normal and the physical addiction is gone. Then we come to the program where we work on the mental aspect. Okay. And the mental aspect is a lot about making them realize that from the time they started taking drugs or alcohol, has their life gone up or down? We show the addict that it's possible to live a good life. And many people who have come out of drugs are doing very well in their lives. They have to have a follow up. So they are supposed to, when they leave the center, they have to carry on working the program and they have to keep in touch. And if they don't keep in touch, we call. And we teach them about relapse. We teach them about the triggers that, craving. They will get craving when they go outside because in the rehab, there's nothing, no drugs, no alcohol. But when they go outside, they will see people drinking. They will see people taking drugs. And that will give them a craving. So we teach them how to deal with these cravings, with these triggers. And usually we teach them to have a strategy, a action plan that when I get a craving, when I see someone, or I come face to face with my drug, what am I going to do?
What about the role in the post-recovery?
See, the family has to be very supportive. Okay, and that is sometimes difficult, we understand, because the family is very hurt by the addiction. They don't understand the addiction, first of all. They blame the addict. So we teach them to fight the addiction, not the addict. The person is good, basically, but once he's suffering from a disease, the disease takes over and changes his behavior. So we teach them that they have to love the addict, support the addict, but at the same time, not enable the addict to carry on with his habit. So it's a kind of tough love where family also learns to uh, get support from us to be strong, make some rules, but at the same time be loving, talk to the addict, say that they understand he has a problem, they are there for him, but there are certain things that they will not accept. And if he needs help, they are ready to send him to the rehab, but he must change. As well as we teach the addict that he should not have expectations when he goes home. that the family will trust him straight away because he has broken their trust hundreds of times. He has told them lies hundreds of times. And that will not change overnight. He will have to prove himself. And, uh, that may take time. So he'll have to have a lot of patience and keep doing his program, keep coming for follow up. And slowly, slowly, the family will see the change in him and then start trusting him.
You have outpatient services also?
We do have sometimes because, sometimes people are working in certain jobs where if they came, they couldn't come to a rehab, they would lose their job. And so we tell them to just go for a detox and then go to a AA or NA group and start attending meetings and see if that works. Some people can manage to stop like that. If they cannot, then they need to come to a rehab. And we've done a lot of programs with the government, and uh, slowly the mindset, the thinking has changing. Laws, actually now it's time that they change these laws. Yes, definitely they need to uh, punish peddlers and dealers, but they need to support the people who are addicts and not, they may be peddling a small amount just to support their habit out of necessity, but they are not doing it for the money. So the people who are doing it for the money, they should be arrested, they should be brought under the law, and others should be treated as a health issue. They should get support. There should be government detox centers and rehabs in every district. And we need to legalize soft drugs because we cannot put everyone in the prison. There's no place.
Sir, I would like to know about the 1985 Act that was passed as an act. The bill was made. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, under that act, even if it's some grams of drugs with you or some, what do you call those tablets, no? Psychometric tablets. So, those
Actually,
even,
it's more than 3 grams.
yeah.
If you have less than 3 grams, then the court can now send you for rehab. And they can treat you as an addiction case. If you are carrying more than 3 grams, then they can arrest you, and the minimum sentence is 10 years. And for second offense is 20 years.
One addict can actually hamper
Definitely.
all the society around him.
Definitely. And it's also research is showing it's genetic. They're going to pass it on to the next generation. And so it's a vicious cycle, more and more. And countries like Portugal, Switzerland, now where they've decriminalized even heroin, they found that they drastically reduced crime, and they've reduced the number of addicts also. They have a program where you can even go and get your heroin fix. They help you to get off the drugs. They make sure that you don't overdose, you don't die from it, you don't get infected by a virus, you don't pass on a virus. That is a humane way of looking at it.
We behave with them like criminals, and that stigma attached to the family. Even if the child comes home after getting treated, then also there's a stigma attached to the family.
We need to start programs in school, and the schools have to give time, for this subject. Maybe even 5 marks or 10 marks, a paper on addiction or some kind of thing to encourage schools to participate. Mostly we go to schools and colleges, we want to do awareness, and they say we have exams, we don't have time, we cannot give you a slot. And they don't give enough importance to this problem. Marijuana at a very young age, you have a huge chance of, developing mental illness down the line, because it's highly psychoactive. But most young people think that, it's a herb, it grows naturally, so it's benevolent. nothing will happen. That's not true. You know, we've seen serious psychosis cases that need years and years of treatment because of marijuana, ganja. And we need to see how we can, uh, stop very young people from using drugs at all. And again, the laws like you're not supposed to sell certain drugs or tobacco near schools, hospitals, but nobody is enforcing them. So again, that part needs to be looked at.
Thank you for being here, Deepak ji.